Hey, how's everybody doing? By everybody, I mean no one. I'm gonna get started in a minute. I'm still kind of figuring out my Dolphin setup. Usually, I I have the chat set up on my phone, but it's not working. It's not connecting for some reason. So I'm just gonna window uh, window Dolphin so I can see the chat on the side. So hopefully it doesn't screw up too much with the setting that I had. Uh, for OBS. Probably will, but check it out. No, sort of. It's clipping a bit of it. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of scene editing. Maybe reset cropping. There we go. I find OBS gets really finicky with any sort of change when it comes to like windows changing position or size or anything. There we go. It's a nice, decent size. And I'm gonna turn down the volume a little bit on that because it's a tad loud. Yeah, Wario World's a game I haven't played in years, and for some reason, um, I had just kind of a craving to play it recently. I literally haven't played it in like 10 years. Um, it was one of the first major gaming disappointment of my life growing up, and I think it might have been a little unjustified looking back, because it's a pretty decent game. I tried it out a little bit earlier, and it's not that bad, but it's definitely different than the all of the Wario Land games, which were my jam back in the days. This was like the first game that I can super remember anticipating. Because when I was a kid, like games just kind of showed up in magazines or in store shelves, and then I wanted them. But this is like one of the first games that I can remember kind of seeing like advertisement for it or like press about it online, and getting real excited for like a 3D Wario game. And it got delayed for a while, which was super disappointing for little like 10-year-old Phil. Um, and I think that just kind of added to the disappointment when it would finally came out that it was nothing like Wario Land. But it's still a good game. It's it's still definitely a game pretty well suited to Wario. He looks a little wonky in this game. He's got like twitches all over his face. Look at him. His mustache has an independent nerve and muscle system. You can just move him around. Whenever he says that, This one, I think it's supposed to be like a generic grunt, but it sounds like he's saying this shit, which doesn't sound too out of character for our good old pal Wario. This game has rockin' music too. Like, pretty much every Wario game has some solid jams. God, I gotta remember how to play. I played this earlier and I already forgot. Get out of here! I'll bring that over with me. Smash it. Treasure chest open. Oh. Completely missed. So yeah, this game is less a platform. It's a bit of a platformer, but it's almost more of a brawler. You kind of just advance through the map and like beat hordes of enemies. I mean, the platforming is a little bit stiff in this. It it kind of feels like they didn't know exactly how to animate Wario in 3D. When you look at a lot of his movements, like his body is just very much stationary and is just kind of his arms and his legs kind of flailing about. Like his body doesn't twist at all, which is super natural. But I mean, what do I know? I'm not a Wario, so. I got this creepy, noseless Wario face. Ugh. There's just something wrong about Wario's face without a nose. It's like something that you'd, like, see in your nightmares. This game also probably was the most Charles Martinet ever got to voice Wario until the recent WarioWare game where he's got like full lines of dialogue and has to say more than 6 different words. Which I wish they'd let him do that more often. Because he's pretty good. Like I thought it would feel weirder to hear Wario speak in full sentences, but it I don't know, it works pretty well. And Charles Martinet definitely. I mean, at this point, like what 25 years later, he definitely has these characters' voices down. I find it kind of funny that the unlockable in this game is basically like demos of WarioWare. You're being rewarded with advertisement for collecting all of the treasure. Playable advertisement, mind you, but it was still kind of like their way to promote WarioWare to whoa, to the masses. WarioWare was another weird game for me when that first came out, but it was a bit of a disappointment when I first played it, because I was expecting, like, Wario had always been a platforming game, and I was expecting, like, from the look of it, just Wario platformer, but he's got a cool bike, and I guess a bunch of weird friends now, and well, no, it turned out to be his minigame collection, and I was super disappointed when I found that out. But then once I started playing them, it immediately was a blast. Unlike Rayman Raving Rabbids, which was a decent game, but they don't make it immediately clear when you're playing that game that it's just going to be minigames, because they kind of let you control Rayman and run around the arena. So when I first played that one, for the first little bit, I kept like waiting for the opportunity when they would like let me roam around and do some platforming. And then I think about like an hour into the game, I realized that that was not gonna happen. And those mini games are fun, but definitely not what I was hoping for at the time. Jump and then press the R button to do a ground pound. So these are like when I was playing that playing it back earlier before the stream. I realized these are kind of almost prototype. They kind of did the same thing as they did in this in Mario 3D World and 3D Land. The bonus rooms are kind of the same where this one's not so much, but you end up in some rooms later where it's like these weird eschery like obstacle course, and you have to kind of rotate the camera around to climb your way through and get the prize at the end of it. It's also the first game I completely forgot actually when Smash Brothers came out that Wario ever actually could actually unhinge his jaw as an actual move. I thought that was something they made for Smash Bros. With Wario's farts, and no, it turns out it's actually from this game, which kind of shocked me when I first played it again. Because I thought, yeah, I thought it was a total fabrication. And it's extra surprising because it seems like Sakurai, at least in terms of Smash Bros, seems to prefer WarioWare Wario above like regular platforming Wario. So it's kind of cool that he took influence for his character from basically the most obscure of all the Wario games. Besides maybe Mario and Wario, because that one never made it out anywhere outside of Japan. You guys are kind of blocking the camera, but damn it. This game definitely has flaws. The camera kind of makes it hard to see exactly where you're going sometime when you're walking down and all of a sudden you're sliding down a hill. Am I using the B button correctly? I mean, I've been pressing it. I don't know if you can do anything else with buttons other than press them. And see, he's telling me that, but you can do the dash attack by pressing the shoulder button, which is way easier. This shit. Oh, damn it. I probably shouldn't have started punching willy-nilly. If I wanted the gold Wario statue. Yes. Is there anything else in there? It is kind of neat how there's a bit of a puzzle game element to this game. I would love to see Nintendo re-release this game someday, because I mean, it's pretty much, there's a lot of GameCube games locked to the GameCube. I mean, this game, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and then Mario Sunshine, of course, which has never been re-released. Which is really weird because every other Mario game has been available for something. And Mario Sunshine has kind of become... It used to be Mario 2, but I feel like Mario Sunshine has kind of become the black sheep of the Mario family. Like it's definitely the one that's generating the most argument online in regards to whether it's a good game or not. Because it seems that the discourse is either people love this game or hate the game, or at least think that it's like really overrated and mediocre. I feel like I'm kind of in the middle in that one because I definitely don't love Mario Sunshine as much as some people do. I have a lot of fond memories of it, but it's generally not the first Mario game I want to go back and replay because it has a lot of flaws. It's insanely hard at times. Like not even just by Mario standards. Like there are stages, there's missions in some of these areas where I've gone back and played the game like years after after I played it when I was a kid and thought, well, oh, it's going to be easier to do now because you know I'm a grown man, so like this children's video game should be you know easy for me, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Smacking all this guy's babies with himself. There's also a thing I'm not like the biggest fan of is that like in this game is that there's not that many unique enemies. There's a lot of unique designs for them, but they're all kind of archetypes. So like in every stage you'll have like little dudes like this with like slightly bigger dude, and you just gotta like, excuse me, had a sneeze. It's a good thing I have a mute button right on my microphone, so I can I can catch those on time. But yeah, every level is just variation of the same enemy, and there are some unique enemies scattered throughout. Like in some of the future world, there's like these magnet enemies you use to make paths, like climb up walls and stuff. But for the most part, it's like you get flying enemy, you get little harmless guy, big version of the harmless guy, and then like flying dudes. And for the most part, that's it, which is a little unfortunate. Where's that chest I activated? And there's also weird. Okay, there's weird enemy behaviors like this. Like this game was delayed several times, and I can definitely see there's still like some weird rough areas. Like this dude I'm holding right now. At some point, like earlier, was on the screen, and he just kind of disappeared. And it feels like the game doesn't quite have a great grasp as to like where the boundaries are on the camera that like I can see or not. So like it makes things disappear while I can still see them there. Man, let's see. I have to make the right decision as to which column I pummel down. Yes. Get some garlic. Surprised there's no golden Wario head in this. Maybe there's not one in every stage. Oh yeah, these guys are extra annoying because if you hit them from the front with a spin like that, they can just block with their weapon. But they're not very smart, so they don't really turn around if you go and hit them from behind. Wario is definitely the biggest narcissist. Like, to have all of these golden statues of himself and then these, like, stone busts. Like to me, Wario definitely feels like one of the more interesting Nintendo character because of that. Just because he's so like he's such the opposite of even like a lot of Nintendo's anti-heroes tend to be sort of more like maybe not benevolent, but you know like noble or I don't know like cool looking or something. But like Wario is just he's just sort of a gross narcissist who loves money and loves himself. And yeah, I don't know. He's just a fun character. He has a lot of personality in whatever he's in usually. Ah, damn it! Not giving you my money, garlic boy. I'm assuming it gets. I mean, it's the first stage. I'm assuming it gets harder down the line, but I still haven't gotten hidden by a single enemy yet. Which is good. Let's see, where's that treasure chest? I pressed that button. Maybe it's down here. Maybe I missed it somewhere around here. Nope. I would love to see a new 3D Wario game that kind of operated more like Wario Land 3. To me, that game is the ultimate Wario game. Um, it's that one had my favorite mechanics where you actually had to go back and you'd unlock new abilities as you went on, and then you'd go back to old stages and use those abilities to unlock new areas. And it made the game a lot of fun to go through because it really felt like you were progressing and unlocking new parts of the world as you played. God, where's that green chest? They don't make it super clear where things are in this game. Yeah, that's still pressed down. Maybe it's on the top of the other treetop structures. Oh, there's something over there, I think. Get out of here. Nope. Okay. Hey, I don't know where it is. And we'll never know. Oh, shit. Ah! He's kind of tough to position on that ball. Like, it's tough to move him and position him. He just kind of squirms in whichever direction. Alright. God. This game more than any other, Wario always has that like shit-eating grin on his face at all times. Like even on the ball, I don't know. There's something just funny to me about like the way Wario's like grasping on that ball with like this giant grin on his face. You just enjoy everything that he does. He's a narcissist, but he's a narcissist that appreciates life and adventure. Oh, so that's where it was. This game really doesn't telegraph very well where. Ooh, oh, these guys. Yeah, these guys can grab me. Fucking dizzy twirlers. There, I'm gonna beat you up with your friend. I think my favorite part about this whole um, this whole game is how they don't explain who these guys are. The little elves. They say they've been imprisoned by the Black Diamond, but they were never in any Wario game prior to this and weren't afterwards. Maybe it explains at the end of the game, but they just kind of show up and get captured. Like, so were they living in Wario's basement the whole time, or are they part of this weird universe? I don't know. I guess that's one of the mysteries we're here to solve. So there's Switch probably a little up ahead, I'm imagining, and then you have to come back. Oh, damn it! I don't know if it has to happen or if it literally is just that one bridge, but this is the worst part of the whole game where you fall in these pits and these rhino heads just fucking try to chomp down on Wario, and every goddamn box is a bomb. Okay, where's my oh god. I had to open every single one of them. That's how you get hurt in this game. You fall down pits and then rhinos just chew you up a bit. And I remember, like, I haven't played this game since I was a kid, and like this part is just as annoying as I remember it being. Stone doohickey. If not, the bye-bye balloons can take you back to the start points. That's the most descriptive and like simplistic name for anything. The bye-bye balloons. It's like if they called doors the Hello Hello Hopens. Ooh, there's like a... Oh, that's where that... There's like a little extra bit at the end. I wouldn't even have had to pay for the garlic. It was a perfectly good clove right there. This shit. That's one thing I miss about a lot of Mario games of modern days, that it seems like the audio recordings are a lot more clear. I kind of miss the days of So Long Gay Bowser's and this shit. And Gay Luigi. Ooh, that guy's pissed. Got a couple anger dinos. Where are you going, sneaky Wario? That was relatively easy. Hey, Ninja Muffin. How's it going? That's good to hear. Thanks for joining my shit show of a stream. Can I get around? No. How's your game going? So yeah, Robot Day was a. I think I missed Robot Day. That was recent, right? Get up here. Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out on it when it comes out. Oh, yeah, that like a week ago. I've God, these past couple of weeks have been so busy. I've completely lost track of kind of everything that was happening online. I haven't been able to do anything for the animation jams either, which is kind of a bummer. I was hoping to do something, but between work and trying to get No Man Episode 5 done, it's just hard to find the time. God, this dude is the weirdest. He's like a green monkey with robot arms. Like, what? That's always kind of a fun thing with Wario games is how inconsistent or like just varied the enemy designs are. Like, there's never Mario kind of has like specific rules almost that they have to follow when they create new characters for it, and like Wario characters can be anything from like a pseudo Goomba to like green lizard monkey with robot arms. I never noticed Wario had like really weird like render glitches going on at his knuckles. Yeah, it's tough to juggle a bunch of different projects, especially when you're like if you've got like other life stuff going on. There's only so many hours in a day. Oh. GameCube. It, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like at parts, like Wario's model looks pretty all right, and some of the stages look okay. But yeah, this area here wouldn't look too out of place on the N64. It's really blocky, and the textures are a little blurry. It's a bit of a forgotten game by Nintendo. Like it's kind of the black sheep in the Wario series because it's not it's Wario's first 3D game, but it doesn't really play like the 2D ones. Like it's more of a brawler, and it's on a system that Nintendo whose games Nintendo has consistently refused to re-release for the last like 15 years. Though I take it back, actually, it's not the black sheep of the Wario series. Master of Disguise is definitely that. Master of Disguise is a terrible game. Pull out a mad move. Huh. Yeah, the GameCube is one of those systems that I owned at the time and I played with it a lot. But even today, like, I see people bring up GameCube games that I'd never heard of, and just nothing's being done with them. It's kind of a shame. Looking at the way that Nintendo's been doing things, though, I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a remake of this on, like, the 3DS or something. Because that's what they're doing with Luigi's Mansion, and I have a feeling that the 3DS, the remainder of the 3DS's lifespan, is going to be ports of games. Oh shit, I need the dude. That That's the weird thing with the game, just kind of despawns enemies sometimes, like, even if you're, like, around. Gotta go kill the sacks. Do those things die, or they just scream in pain? No, they die. That's how you power drive. Cool. Take that. I kind of find it funny that at this point, they've re-released the GameCube controllers more than, like, any individual GameCube game. Oh shit, I shouldn't have wasted that. Let me pile drive ya. So that arrow is just there to tell me where to go. I watched some people speedrun this game uh, last week, and God, the Wario's movements are so slippery. I don't know how they do it. Oh, get back down here. Like in these segments, I barely have the confidence to like move forward, and then they were doing like crazy ass like dash jumps all over the place. The glue globes. Are those? They called those the bye-bye balls in the previous stage. I guess the only thing that really makes them bye-bye balls is that they're connected to balloons that take you away. Oh, dude, yeah, Thousand Year Door on anything I will buy. Like, that game is a fucking masterpiece. Like, Paper Mario is a series that just deserves better than what it's getting nowadays. Um, like that, I remember kind of disliking, well, not disliking, but being a little disappointed in Super Paper Mario when it first came out, because I really like the traditional like turn-based Paper Mario games, but Super Paper Mario was a super solid game, and it had a great story. And then, like, I think that Sticker Star made me realize that the RPG element isn't the most important thing about Paper Mario, because Sticker Star had the RPG elements, but like no story whatsoever. And even really the RPG elements, it did have it botched really hard. So I hear that Color Splash is better, but I've never played it. If I ever find it for like a decent price, I would pick it up, but it it still looked like the gameplay was kind of more of the same from Sticker Star, but with like not even like slightly more of a story, just good writing. Like the writing seemed really solid, but it still didn't seem like the game had much of a story or any character. Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. Like it makes me kind of hopeful. And after seeing like all the crazy stuff that they've put in Odyssey, like I'm kind of hopeful that Miyamoto's grasp on like the Mario canon has maybe been lifted a little bit. But even that excuse, I always felt a little flimsy to me, because there's a lot of cool, weird like characters from mainline Mario games that never get to be in anything that they could have used, and it's just Goombas and Shy Guys and Koopas and Piranha Plants and Toads, billions of Toads. But like, yeah, Thousand Year Door is probably in my, at least in my top 10 favorite games of all time. Top 10 or 20, it's way up there. Man, that dude's only purpose in life is to have his face pummeled to create bridges. That's a sad existence. Yeah, I mean, like, toads aren't... Like, I love toads. Toads aren't inherently bad, but, like, the way they do toads in the recent Paper Mario games is so bland. It's sad. Like all the toads in Thousand Year Door had like you had like a bunch of like different lady toads. You had like old granny toad. You had like pirate toads. Train captain toad. I think like I think Color Splash had like toads that were like Sentai like Power Rangers type toads. But I think those were like the only real variation on a toad there was in the game. And like all of their team members were like just kind of regular toads with different colors. Oh, the wrestling chapter was the coolest one. In the first two Paper Mario games, like the chapter with the big spike enemy with like Tubba Blubba and Macho Grubba were like my two favorites in their respective games. Never took Wario to be a tea drinker. Guess he is. Oh shit. Time to go see the rhinos. I don't know if there's really a way to avoid the rhinos. Fuck. Actually, on the topic of like Paper Mario again and Wario, like even though that Miyamoto told them to try to stick with like Mario characters, they couldn't be bothered to use like, you know, like Wario or Waluigi or something. Like I feel like a Paper Mario game with Wario in it would be interesting. Ah, crap. This game is so slippery. Ooh, not today. Yeah, that game was fantastic. I remember staying up until like 2 or 3 in the morning playing that game. Once I got to like the Moon chapter, just I couldn't stop. Oh man. It's starting to seem like it'd be more worth it to go like all the way around than to try to spin that gate back open. Oh, they get like real spooked when I pick up a bomb. Grotus actually probably is one of my favorite, like design for like one of the Mario RPG villains. Like Grotus and the X-Nauts are just really like iconic looking. Fuck. Do you cook stuff in Thousand Year Doors too, or just in the first one? I can't remember. Because I remember you have to do the cake for like the fat shy guy in the first one. Yeah, I'm going around. God, that guy looks so sad. His whole life now is just to have people walk on his face. And I mean, like, you know, if he was into that, that would be one thing, but he clearly isn't. Oh yeah, I kind of remember that now. Oh, that was the potion to make you invisible, to like sneak past the camera or something. Yeah, man, I started replaying that game like like 2 years ago, and didn't make it all the way to the end. But now that we're talking about it, I kind of want to go back and play it. Such a friggin' good game. Like I really hope that Intelligent System are working on a new one for Switch, and that they're given like all of the creative freedom that they want. And like I'm not even picky. Like I'd be fine if it's more of a Super Paper Mario type game, as long as it has a cool story and cool characters. Okay. Oh, that'd be tough to play on the keyboard. I'm playing this with like an Xbox controller, and it feels kind of weird. I tried to set up the GameCube adapter on my PC, but for some reason there's just something that's not working. I mean, if Nintendo didn't want you to emulate their games at this point, they would be giving you a way to buy them. Like, I generally try not to emulate games, or at least games I don't own, but, like, there comes a point where, like, if you can't get it, like, it's not like they're not gonna make money off of you buying the game for like $80 from a secondhand store. So like, if all you want to do is play the game, that's like a completely viable option. And like there are benefits to emulation too, in terms of just like the how you can make the games look like a bit better. Like for GameCube games, you can kind of at least output them in HD, which is nice. Which is something I've like only started doing like a week ago. Like it's a little complicated, but there's also ways to like rip your own discs and stuff, which is cool. Yeah, I feel like if Nintendo's gonna re-release their GameCube controllers, they should really have a like at least start porting select GameCube games on the eShop. Because there are some GameCube games that would be tough to emulate, like without the GameCube controller, because of those analog triggers. So like, if they're re-releasing the GameCube controller and the adapter, there's no excuse for them not to at that point. Um, And it's so weird to me that Nintendo were the first ones to have analog triggers, and then they never bothered putting them on the system afterwards. Like the Wii didn't. Wait, no, the classic controller I think might have had analog triggers on the Wii, but then like the Wii U didn't have analog triggers, and then the Switch doesn't have them either, which is kind of weird because they are useful in certain games, and would have made the like way easier for them to port their old GameCube games. Man, Thousand Year Door in like HD sounds like it'd be amazing. Oh, it didn't? Well then, yeah, they just kind of gave up on it, which kind of sucks. I've never actually played any COD game on the Wii. I'm not a big COD player, but the Wii ports always kind of fascinated me because they were kind of they had to kind of just basically like fully downport the game to try to make it work on a system that was like basically a generation behind. And I thought it was kind of interesting how they managed to, from what I've seen anyways, I haven't really played them. They seem to have basically managed to port the full experience minus like some graphical detail. But like back then, they used to port Call of Duty to like everything. I actually found a DS Call of Duty game at Value Village a couple months ago. Oh my god, are they gonna make me break all of these Wario heads to find the jewel? Yep. Yeah, I feel like it makes sense. Like, it would be hard to do split screen for some of those games. One of the things I didn't notice until, like, TV started switching to HD is just how much of a hit some of the older games take when you put, when you play them in, on an HD TV, like in split screen. Like, Mario Kart Wii on split screen, like it starts getting really crispy when you play four players. Yeah, the Wii had an amazing library, and it kind of sucks that people seem to think of the shovelware before all of the cool games. Because the PS2 also had a lot of shovelware, but it also had a lot of amazing games. But those are the ones people tend to remember. I mean, the Wii definitely got like an extra injection of shovelware just because of how it had such mass appeal with like people who didn't play games. So you had stuff like games based on like Grease the musical. But like it probably had some of Nintendo's best first party games. Like Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 and Metroid Prime 3. It had a lot of cool third-party games too. When you look at like, damn, um, Mad World was a pretty cool game on the Wii, and Lost in Shadow was a really cool one, where like your character was turned into a shadow and you had to like manipulate light. Like you played as a shadow and you had to manipulate lights to create platforms and stuff. I wonder if, as time goes on, if the Wii's reputation is going to change, especially like as people who were like younger than I was when the Wii came out start getting older. Because the Wii came out when it was like 15, I think. Ooh, I think we're already at the first boss. I think I'm gonna beat this boss and call it a night. It's starting to get a little late over here. Oh wow, really? So you're pretty much in that generation that I was talking about that like pretty much grew up with the Wii. Yeah, the Wii came out when I was in grade 10. And it was like, God, I had like dreams. I had dreams of like Reggie coming to my house and playing, like bringing the Wii with him and like playing Wii Sports, like showing me Wii Sports and stuff because that's how excited I was about it. This shit. I was like the first guy in my village to get a Wii. I mean, granted, I lived in a tiny village, so like I went to the neighboring city like the launch morning of the Wii trying to get one, and somehow managed to make it there early enough to get one. Oh, man, Mario Kart Wii, I have a lot of good memories of that game. A lot of people kind of dismissed it, but I actually kind of like it better than Double Dash. And it had Funky Kong, which is arguably the best Mario Kart character of all times. Yeah, I had a lot of I had some kids in my school too that were like all about the Xbox and kind of made fun of the Wii. It's kind of weird how it shifted a little bit because like I remember before the Wii came out, there were like most people that I knew were actually like super excited about it. And then I think the fact that it just wasn't quite as graphically capable kind of killed it for some of them. Do I have to? Oh, I have to like pick her up. The 3DS turned out to be like a pretty sweet system. I remember when I got my 3DS, I got Steel Diver with it at launch because it was like one of 3 games that came out with it. Like thankfully it didn't take too long before it started getting like a lot of really good games. But it was kind of weird just how like empty the launch of the 3DS was. In hindsight, I regret not getting Pilot Wings or Dead or Alive. Woo. What games did you buy when you first got your 3DS? The first eShop game that I got was I got Link's Awakening because I never played that one when it first came out. For a while, that actually was like my most played 3DS games because there just wasn't a lot on the 3DS right at launch. Man, that dude's not... She's not dead yet? I kind of vaguely remember Freaky Forms. I remember hearing about it, but I didn't, I never got around playing it. I have to be doing something wrong with her. Oh, there we go. Maybe if I just throw in the lava. Ooh. Mario 3D Land was pretty fantastic. It might be controversial to say, but I think it might be one of the best 3D Mario games. Like, I love Mario 3D World, but I think 3D Land might be better just because the stage design is a little bit tighter because it was fully designed for just one player. I'm not liking my chances of beating her. If I get stomped one more time, I'm done. I kind of feel like saying that any Mario game is your favorite, though, at this point is controversial. It's kind of funny going on the internet and, like, reading threads of people debating which Mario game is the best. And there's always going to be somebody who comes in there and says that New Super Mario Bros. U is the best Mario game. Ah, damn. That's no good. Oh, my money. Kidicrup Uprising was a freaking fantastic game. I'm kind of shocked they didn't do more with the Kid Icarus license and Pit afterwards. Because Pit was clearly like one of the most popular characters in Brawl. And then it took them something like 6 years to make a Kid Icarus game. And yeah, I think it's been about 6 years since that Kid Icarus game, and it doesn't look like we're getting another one of those soon. I need to go back and replay it. It's been ages. It's one of the like I was gonna say it's one of the few Nintendo games with voice acting that's good, but they've actually been pretty decent recently. Yeah, Myths and Monsters was on the Game Boy, and the original one was on the NES. I have both. I own both of them, but I've not played a whole ton of either. Man, come on. Yeah, that game had a lot of variety. Like a surprising amount of variety. And it just even like in um just like in themes and like gameplay types. Like that bit where you play as a dog was so out of left field. It might be a bit of a spoiler for people who never played it. But that game did come out a while back. Oh man, come on. I don't know if it's because I'm talking about video games and like Kid Icarus and stuff while fighting this boss, or it might just be because this boss is really hard, but that that lizard was giving me a tough time. Got the first key. Oh yeah, I forgot about the alien invasion in Kid Icarus. I really need to go replay it. I have not replayed it since it came out. Like, that game came out, and I pretty much played it nonstop for like 2 weeks until I beat it. And then I didn't really touch it again. We did play a lot of the Kid Icarus multiplayer in college. I remember that being a lot of fun. Have I unlocked any of the I don't think I've unlocked any of the micro games. Yeah, I never played it online. We mostly just played the local multiplayer. There were like a bunch of people who ended up getting it when I was in college, and we just kind of gathered in the in one of the classes. Well, I mean after class, not during class, and played a shit ton of that stuff. Well, I think that's gonna be it for me for tonight. Made some good progress. Played through the whole first world. 3 more to go. I'm guessing I can probably knock this game down in 4 streams because it's not. I do remember it getting harder as you go along, and the stages do end up taking quite a bit of time. Like the second stage took a lot more time than the first one, but like it definitely seems like something that I can play like for a couple of hours on stream and beat a world. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Um, so yeah, that's it for me for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Well, thanks for Ninja Muffin for tuning in, my one and only viewer. Appreciate the support. Um, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.